Law of attraction hacks. Oops. Let's see. Law of attraction hacks. Hey guys, how's everybody doing today? So it's been a while since I went live here, but just seeing how everybody's doing. What's going on? What's going on in your guys' world? How's everything going? How's your mindset? What's going on? Hey guys, what are you creating right now? How's your mind operating? What are you looking for? What are you manifesting? How's everybody doing? I'll attempt to get some lives in on the weekends when I can, so this is what I'm doing. Cash for life, nice. Hello. How's the world treating you guys? Mindset. So as I said, the title is what? Manifestation hacks. So just want to leave some tips when it comes to creating stuff, like manifesting stuff. Watching training videos and studying, good. That's good. So does anyone know, can anyone tell me in a summarized way what's the blueprint to manifest something? You know, 2 people won recently this week. Yeah. So anyone can tell me a simplified blueprint to manifest? Yeah, the subconscious is definitely a big part of it. Yeah, I like that one. Someone says, who's this here? I see your pictures, but your names, they become transparent. So I think it's style 187 or something. But I like that mindset and emotional focus. Plan and take action. Yeah, but the action part is tricky. Usually action is kind of the last step in creating stuff, because actually, did you know that most of the action we spend creating something is actually we're fixing a miscreation. So a lot of the action we take is take action to mess up what we've already think we created. That's to our ego. Mark, you have millions and you never smile. There you go. I smile. Watch my YouTube videos and all my thumbnails. I'm smiling. Please, action. Wow, not in my world. By the way, guys, my new ebook is out, so you can go check it out. It's called Manifesting the Lottery Using Quantum Physics. So just all my, I guess you could say, secrets and to winning the lottery. So I have it in the ebook, I have it in an audio book, and it'll be in paperback coming out next week on Amazon. So you can go to Amazon and get the paperback, the ebook, or you can just visit my website. I have the paperback and ebook. So if you're someone who wants to manifest winning the lottery, having abundance or whatever, I think this book will help you, because it really lays out the groundwork of how the mind and matter work, subconscious with quantum physics. So I think that will be very helpful. And so you have 3 different versions you can get. The audio is very good. Audio version is very good. I recommend the audio version as well. Biggest win at the casino. That's you, Dave. Oh, David Coombs is here. Hey, David. I seen your post, man. What did you win? Like 2,000 at the casino using those techniques I put forth. That's good, man. How long does it take for limited beliefs to change if one is actively working on it? I think the time it takes to really release limited beliefs, it could be anywhere for 90 days or 3 months up to 1 year. depending on the individual. That's my experience with it. I won 2100, dude. Congratulations, guys. David, oh David, you won 2100. I forgot my mistake. You got 2100. That's good. Yeah, limiting beliefs are tricky because each individual, you know, each individual has a different blueprint, a map of reality. You know, I talk about a map of reality a lot. So if you're confused or saying, what is this guy talking about? A map of reality is just what it sounds like. It's like every person, every single person, like when you get up this morning and you open your eyes, you're operating on a map of reality on two aspects. You have a map of reality on your conscious and you have a map of reality on the subconscious. Let's talk about a conscious map of reality. A conscious map of reality is your personality, your beliefs, and what you see around your world and what you expect and what you normally think will happen, like a routine. So an example of that is you get up in the morning, right? Okay, you know I have to go to work, and then you know what you're going to expect, you know what your paycheck is, you know how much money you're going to make, you know how much money you're capable of, you know your limitations, and there's certain things. That's called a map of reality, and that is stuck in your head, right? The interesting thing about maps of reality is that you can change them, but no one ever does that because we're stuck with a limitation, right? So that's the map of reality in your regular mind. All right. Now, the map of reality in the subconscious mind is a lot trickier. So just like you have a map of reality in the regular mind, subconscious operates at a deeper level now. A subconscious map of reality is called your emotional blueprint. So it is basically what you feel about certain things. I'll give you an example of what a subconscious. So subconscious map of reality is you have a faulty map and then you have what I call an abundant map. So let me give you an example of a faulty map. So let's go again. So you wake up in the morning, right? And then you're getting ready to go to work and you may not like the amount of money you're making at your job and you want to make some more money, and then you start to think positive to yourself and you say to yourself, you know, I'm going to make more money. So that's your conscious map of reality. But when you say I'm going to make more money or I deserve to make more money, the subconscious map of reality will initiate and react to you with a feeling. So it will be a feeling of, I don't think we can make more money. See that? Mark, is your book on Audible? Yeah, the book will be on Audible in a week, but you can get the book on my website, the audio version. So you see the map of reality there? So that's what I mean by a map of reality. So again, I'll say it again. So you get up and you think positive and you say, you know what, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to get my soulmate. I'm going to get a relationship. I'm going to take that move. I'm going to start my business. You know, I want it. I deserve it. But then a feeling will always accompany our words. So your feeling may be when you say I deserve some money, or I deserve to be loved, I deserve a relationship, I deserve whatever. The book is called Quantum Physics, Manifest the Lottery Using Quantum Physics. So you say I deserve love, or I deserve something, and what happens then when you say your words, it's always going to be accompanied by an emotional. Some of these emotions you can feel, some of them are subtle. But the biggest one now, you say I'm going to make some money, I deserve it. You say it, but you don't feel it. See that? So the one that's when you don't feel it, when it doesn't match the vibration of what you say, then we know you have a faulty map of reality in your subconscious mind. And that's very important because the subconscious is like controls your conscious. It's the part of the mind that tells this conscious kind of what to think and how to view your world. Because it does that with emotions. See, these emotions trigger a response, a physiological response in your regular mind. You start to think a certain way. When you think that certain way, then you start to take action to match what you think. So you see how that subconscious can be tricky, right? So that's what I mean by a map. So when someone's doing limiting beliefs, or you hear someone say, I'm going to remove my blocks, I'm removing my limiting beliefs, they're working on changing the subconscious emotional map. And that's what everyone should do. All of you guys should work on changing the map because every single person is damaged. They all have faulty maps. That's just because the world isn't perfect. And the world we live in is filled with a lot of like just bad stuff, man, like fear, doubt, worry. As you grow up, you know, the world is also filled with a lot of love, joy, and happiness thing, but they don't, that's why I talk about the matrix. They don't focus on that, right? So when you, because, you know, when you're a kid, all of us have emotional damage. I haven't met anyone that hasn't had emotional stuff happen in their life. Some is deep. So when you're a kid, you go through so much stuff. You maybe see your parents fighting, arguing. You may not like how you look as a young person because you say, when you're growing up, you don't like your body. All these things. Then people will maybe tease you or say you're not good enough. These actually get stuck in our subconscious, and they form a map of how we see ourselves on an emotional level. And that creates a lot of problems as you grow older because it's so hidden, and you don't understand that it's really affecting your regular thinking. So when you think to do something and you're doing something, you think that you actually believe, or you think that you are doing this conscious, you're doing all this stuff, but it's actually a deep driven by the subconscious. The subconscious actually affects the conscious mind. So a manifesting hack is, the first manifesting hack is you got to get those out. There are definitely ways to release them. I mean, you have subliminals you can use. So subliminal is basically an audio command. So that's what it says. It just gets into the subconscious. It uses frequencies and actually uses actual spoken words. And it's actually, the good ones are the ones that are masked. They mean that you can't hear them consciously. They're so low, but your subconscious picks them up. The thing about the subconscious, it can pick up like sounds that are really, really, really tiny. You know, like a dog whistle, it could pick that up because it has access to so much more information than our regular ears can. So they work. They subliminally program you to change or to become something else. And the best times to use them is when you're sleeping, because at that time you're in a more hypnotic or meditative state. And I'm sure you guys hear that a lot, like, well, you know, what is a meditative or hypnotic state? You know, it basically, what that means, it's a state where your subconscious is easier to change. So someone says, speak out loud to change these false beliefs. Yeah, speaking out loud definitely helps, but you need more than to speak out loud. You're gonna need to get into the map part. So you're gonna have to do some subliminals, or you're gonna have to do self-hypnosis or hypnotherapy, or something of that sort to really get them. If you do speak out loud alone, that's gonna take more time, and you have to be really disciplined. So it's a factor of stuff you have to do to really get it out. You have to do speaking out loud. You have to do visualization. You have to consciously start to think of, you know, focus more on what you want. You have to become more aware of those beliefs, and then you have to use the subliminals, or you can hit self-hypnosis or use hypnosis. But I believe one of the most, so I'll give you a tip here. So one of the most powerful manifesting hacks that you can use right now that'll get you on the road to really achieving your goals, right, is you have to now change to become an optimist. You won't really get stuff in your life if you're not optimistic. It can't work that way. You can't be expecting what you want but not seeing the positive outcome of what you want. It just doesn't work because you have two different things going on. See that? So for everyone to become the best, you know, whatever you want, you have your mindset now. You have to see the glass half full instead of half empty. Now it's natural for people to have both different views. Some people see half empty, some people see half full. The ones that see half full will have a more advantage to manifest their reality, because the ones who see it half empty, they'll get a lot of things that will show them that it's half empty. The ones that see it half full, they're going to get things to show them it's half full. And the thing about all of this stuff, guys, really why it's important to be an optimist, is because of how your brain will filter stuff in. It's all about the brain is constantly a filtration system, information filtration system. It's looking to infiltrate information and filter it into your existing world. Like right now, the stuff that you're seeing around your life, your little routine, you kind of created that subconsciously, and you're living that consciously. So that's your little world. That's the filter. So that means everywhere you go, your brain will only show you things that you think about the most, you focus on the most, and you expect. It's only going to show you those things. It can't show you anything else. Now, let me give you a real-time example of that to show you. So you're someone, you get up in the morning, you wanna change your life, you wanna do big things, but your best way to put this, okay, you're content with your life. You're content with, I'm living in my means. I'm content with making just this amount of money to get by, even though I'd love to make more or do this, but I'm content. I feel happy. I feel like my little circle is this, okay? So your brain will never show you the opportunities for you to make that more money, or for you to live bigger or better. It can't do that. Why? Because you instructed it not to. Because you're not going out the box. You're not thinking big enough. Because when you think big, you come back to say, well, I'll just settle what I have. That's an example of that. Now, let's go to being an optimist now. So let's say you're an optimist. Yeah, I do. You say, go back to the same example. You're living your little job. You're contented, but you're not fully happy. You want to make more, but you're contented. When you're an optimist now, you start to dream bigger now. Now, an optimist, they'll say, you know what? I am contented and I appreciate what I have, but I deserve so much more. I know I deserve more. So let me start to think bigger. Let me start to dream bigger consistently. Let me do visualizations. Let me start to expect something big. Why settle for this when I know I can get that? That's the power of an optimist. Now, what that does to the brain now, the brain now will get this information, and if you continue to make it a repetition, it becomes a program. So now your reality will start to expand. So now the brain will bring a new reality to show you the opportunities to do just what you want. So you move away from that small, limited mindset. Now you're seeing the big things. Not only the brain does that, but the subconscious now will come in, because now once it becomes a program, it's now accepted as to your subconscious. So now you want to make more or do bigger things. What happens? The subconscious will actually bring that thing to you to experience. It'll bring it through people, through connections, through it'll give you a mindset. It'll give you an idea. It'll give you the aha moment. In other words, you'll start to live what you optimistically had expected. That's the power of being an optimist. Okay, I can show you the example of a pessimist. Someone who gets up, and as soon as they get up, they start thinking about how bad the world is, how they don't have enough, why things don't work for them, why it ain't working. And then when someone comes to them and say, hey man, you got to be more positive, they'll tell you, I have to be more realistic. I'm a realist. I have to face reality. I just can't make it. The system is tied up. How am I going to do it? So what happens again, the brain filters reality to that lifestyle. So those type of individuals, they will only see and experience things that match that vibration. In other words, they'll continue to see things that'll make the system not work for them. They'll continue to see things to make them struggle. They'll continue to see things that make them a victim. And it cannot change unless they change it. The problem is, here's a big problem though. When someone is an optimist or a pessimist, more likely when someone is a pessimist, it's difficult for them to change. Why is that? Because they consistently see evidence of a pessimistic life. They consistently see why it doesn't work, why I can't have it, why it's always something bad, and they consistently see bad things happening to them. So what happens now, the mind forms what's called a proof theory. So the mind says, this is the only way it can be, because look, we have proof that it keeps happening to us, so therefore we cannot change. So for someone to be an optimist, they have to really start to have faith, and they have to go out and say, man, I want to change, because it won't change. Now, an optimist is the same, but in another aspect. When you become an optimist, it's the same thing. The brain now will make you see proof of it. So now it becomes proof to your mind. So that means you'll keep seeing it. So your reality now will only show that. So do you see there's two different worlds existing in one? Two different people. So you can be in a home or a house and you're two different individuals. One of you is optimist, one of you is the pessimist. Even though you're in the same home, the optimist one will experience so much more abundance. The pessimistic one will experience more lack. But they're in the same place. So what is the big difference? It's not the environment. It's not the physical. It's the mindset. Okay, that's a manifestation hack. Next manifestation hack is that the world is not out there, the world is in here. When you hear something outside, it's not coming from outside. Where do you hear it? You hear it in here. Even though the sound is outside, it's not really outside. What's actually happening is there's a complex system working within the mind and within the auditory parts of your brain and the visionary cortex part of your brain. So everything you see around your world is actually a perception from the internal view of the world. So the internal view from the world creates your external thing as a holographic projection to you. So with that manifestation hack, you have to understand that things don't come to you, they come through you. Let me run that by you again. Things never come to you, they always come through you, to you. Did you get that? All right. So with that information, that becomes very empowering. And that is what changed the game for me. When I understood that nothing can come to me, everything must come through me. And once I learned that, the chains were broken, man. I was, as you can see, I was busting out. I was manifesting all over. I won the lottery numerous times. I do all type of stuff. The stuff that people think is hard or impossible to do, I was doing it. And that's what I teach people to do, that stuff. The interesting thing about that now is it brings up a very fundamental question here. And the question is, how can you do this stuff that defies the odds and over again? And how can you like have dreams of these, let's use lottery numbers, and then you play them and they always come out? How do you initiate all this stuff? Well, the big secret is this: everything you hear and what they taught you, all the textbooks you read, your history books, they're all wrong. Everything they learn about, I don't know, the media teach you, whatever, it's all wrong. When I talk about all wrong, I'm talking about how reality really works. What this is, what you are, where you live. All of that they taught you. It's all wrong, man. It's all wrong. And for you to find the truth, you're going to have to go deep and search, because it's there. The truth is there, but it's covered up with so much misinformation. So what I did, I discovered the truth, and I'll share it with you. So the first truth is that the universe that you and I live in was never a beginning, and there's never an end to the universe. I want you to think about that. Well, actually, you can't think about that, because your brain is incapable of thinking about that. You know why? We as human beings, we see things as beginning and end. So if I say to you, hey, think about something that's never have a beginning or an end, you can't do that. But let me show you how things work. The reason why you can't do that is a condition called linear time. So what happens is, we are born, you see someone from a young age, an infant, become a person, middle age, they become old and they die. So we see birth, middle, and death. So we see things begin to end. But again, that is all an illusion. Do you know what an illusion is? So here's the truth now. So the universe actually When the Big Bang began in the universe, it wasn't a beginning. It was a transition to a different evolutionary part of the universe. So with you and I, we are the universe and the energetic component. Think about that. That means you have always been here. You will always be here, and you can't go nowhere. So even through the stages of infancy, middle age, and death, it's never the end. It's a transition to another part of existence. Because energy can't create it, you cannot destroy it. So think about that. So what all the stuff they taught you, again, about how life works and all that, it's totally wrong, man. Now physicists have actually started to discover this recently, that our universe never had a beginning or an end. It was just always there. What happens in the universe, there's just different parts of different evolutionary parts, transition parts, and the Big Bang was just an example of another part of the universe. So it was never beginning. So think about, I'm going to repeat that again. You don't have a beginning, you don't have an end. You're just here always. So in your life, things are always transitioning. So even death isn't the end. It's a transition to another beginning somewhere. Who knows where it could be? It could be at a different point. It could be in a multiverse. It could be a point where you come back, reincarnate somewhere else. I don't know. But I do know that there is no such thing as end, or there's no such thing as beginning. All right. So do you see how that works? So those two important truths is what really changed all reality for me. Because now I see, okay, so this universe never have a beginning or an end. So it means I can't have a beginning or an end. So everything is a transition. Okay, what else now? The other one was, okay, the nature of reality. Okay, my perception, what I see forms like it looks to me, everything looks real to me right now, right? I'm touching some stuff, but I innately know that everything that I'm touching and thing is just dense energies of vibration. That's all they are. They're patterns of energy, and they move in so fast and so different that my brain, through evolution, has developed this visionary cortex to create this world for me to make sense. So I can see you as a person, I can see everything, but in the raw backdrop, they're just nothing. They're just energy components. And how do I know that? Well, I look at my body. I look at the cells. I see they break down to molecules. I see they become atomic particles. And I see these atomic particles are nothing. And you cannot exist without atomic particles. If you don't have any atoms in your body, you can't be here. It's impossible. Every person has billions and trillions of atoms. So once I realize that, then I say, okay, so what's the vehicle to drive this? Oh man, it's my mind. So let me test this. Let me go play the lottery. And I won the lottery, and I did other stuff. And then people were like, man, how you do that? Can you do it again? And I did it again. Can you do it again? And I did it over and over again. And they say, man, Mark, what about the odds and all that stuff? I said, that's all a bunch of baloney. That's all something they taught you. If you believe in odds, you're going to get in odds. And then what else was the most important thing that I discovered, that reality will exist in different states at the same time based on my perception. See the big picture? I am the observer. Whatever I observe comes into my world, which means nothing comes to me, it comes through me. There's the example again. So we go into quantum physics. Now we know about what's called a wave, the wave, and then it comes into what's called a particle, wave duality, superposition. So what a wave is basically, a wave is a point where every possible outcome of your life exists exponentially, infinitely. And repeat that. A wave means every single possible outcome of your life infinitely exists right there. So there's a version of you this, version of you that. Until I think of something, the wave collapses and becomes a particle. Then, before it becomes a particle, it becomes from a wave to a superposition. The superposition is the middle state before it becomes a real thing. Superposition means it's stuck in all possible outcomes as well. And then from the superposition, it becomes a definite thing. That's all of this stuff is. So whatever you were learned in school or taught, or they're telling you or showing you, or whatever stuff you're doing right now or you're reading, if it's not what I'm saying to you, then the information is incorrect. Okay? Pretty much multiverse has not proven, or am I mistaken? Pretty much a lot of things are theoretical in nature. But just because they're theoretical in nature doesn't mean they're not happening. Take, for example, gravity. Gravity is a theory, but we know it works because no one will ever go out and jump out the window because they know they can't fly. They know they won't. So just because it's a theory doesn't mean it has any practical input in our lives. But there are now things that are showing this. I mean, your own experience can show you this. And we'll talk about the multiverse here. So the multiverse, you can actually summarize the multiverse as this. Because again, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. There's going to be some things that we just can't prove, but we know it exists. I'll give you an example of a theory right now. Your consciousness, your awareness. No one can tell you, there's no scientist, there's no physicist, there's no philosopher. They all have different views of it, including me. No one can tell you definitively what consciousness is. What is it? Your experience, your unique experience. You're here and you're experiencing something. What is it? Where does it come from? The closest they've gotten to that, and this is recent with a few years, is they discovered that, consciousness is created through an electromagnetic field through the brain. That's all they know. But yet you're still experiencing it. Same thing with the multiverse. No one can ever prove that the multiverse exists because you can't get there. But, however, here's the thing now, however, when we look at the particles in our body, we know that space is infinite. And we know that we know for a fact that there's other bubble universe that branch off since there is no beginning or end. With that in mind, let's go to particles. So now we know that the atomic particles that make up you and I, they are not infinite. The universe is infinite. The particles that make up you and I aren't. So if the universe is infinite, everything must continue to replicate. So because the particles aren't infinite in you and I, they must arrange at a certain point. So that means at one point there have to be a duplicate copy of Mark. Not only one copy, but an infinite copy of me somewhere out in the universe. And this is through mathematical equations. So they do the math and they put all this jargon of equations that you can't even understand, and they calculate it, and the math says yes, there is the multiverse. That's as close as you're going to get to the multiverse right now. Okay? With that being said, you as a person, ask yourself this question: how can I dream something in my mind and it becomes a physical reality? Where is that coming from? How can I sit in my house and view somewhere in real time? How is that happening? All of that is happening right now. Matter of fact, the US has done extensive research on paranormal psychology, or what you call sixth sense stuff. The CIA has done documentation of this. It's released now. You could go look it up. Gateway Project, where they show how the mind is a holographic field, and through your consciousness, you affect the field through the vibrational pattern of what I just said, of what the whole universe is. And right, someone always say the math is always right. Just like Einstein, notice what they call it, the theory of relativity. A theory, just like everything else, is a theory. And this theory of relativity has made possible for us to live our life. Without the theory of relativity, you wouldn't have GPS, you wouldn't have the satellites. There's certain functions on the earth that couldn't work. All that, with the theory of relativity, you couldn't understand how things fly. We couldn't make machines that fly in gravity proportion. All that is done through the theory of relativity. Without theory of relativity, you couldn't have quantum computing, computers, all these things. That is done through understanding the physics or the math of reality. So you're seeing a big picture. So if all of you, as I said, all your textbooks that you've read and all the stuff they put out, information about who you are, where you came from, what you're capable of, what this world really is, how it works, what you can't and cannot do, it's all wrong. Okay? I learned that a long time ago, and that's what I'm spreading awareness for people to see this and open their mind. My job, all I'm here to do is to make you think. That's all I'm here to do. I put these things to you so that you can have an open mind and go think for yourself, and then you'll see the results. And through my own experience, all of these things now are facts to me. They're no longer theories. I'm talking about me personally, because I have done the things that these things create. I've done them in my own personal life. So that's why I'm speaking from my personal experiences. Things that have happened to me, that I've done and experienced. So I can come from my point of view, they're all truths. From your point of view, this may be new information to you. You may be fascinated, you may be interested in this stuff. Maybe some of you may be experiencing a little bit of this stuff. You're confused, you don't know what's happening. Well, now it's time for you to dig deeper and find the truth. But what I can do, I can give you guides and information to help you to put the puzzle together. All right? So the thing is, and all of that lies into your mind, the mind state. Predominantly your unconscious mind. So I will say this again, a manifestation hack is the world doesn't exist outside of you. Everything is in you. You are projecting your world right now. From your limitations to your big goals, everything is a projection from your internal maps. And then what happens is, once you project something externally, it affects what you call the collective consciousness. So that's why you can have people in your world come in and do different things, because now once it goes out, it affects what's called a collective subconscious. Including me, it can affect me, because I could come into your world to do something that will help you that I had no idea I was helping you, but in your world you are manifesting that. See how it works? So we influence each other in different ways, and the person you influence, they don't even know that they're helping you or having influence to you. How does one access the subconscious? You access the subconscious through meditation, through visualization, through speaking out aloud in a question format, asking out loud, question format, I'll call ask formations. You access the subconscious mind through chanting, through self-hypnosis, through subliminals, through focus, and through mind state. That's how you access the subconscious. Once you access the subconscious, now the bigger question is, how do I change the subconscious? The very things I mentioned, all you do is you do the very things I mentioned, but you do them on a pattern repeatedly over and over. When you do something over and over, it becomes a habit. What is a habit? A habit is something you do unconsciously and you don't even know you're doing it, you just do it. It becomes easy to you. A habit is formed in the subconscious. Some people have a habit of making a lot of money. Some people have a habit of losing a lot of money. Some people have a habit of doing da-da-da. See that? Habits are a subconscious thing. So if you want to change your life, you change your habit. You change your habit, you go to the source, the subconscious. The thing about the subconscious, it's just like the universe. It's infinite. The subconscious isn't like your conscious mind. Your conscious mind has limitations. Your subconscious doesn't have limitations. And this is what I'm talking about. See, when I tell you, I said everything they're telling you is wrong. History, all the stuff they're teaching you is wrong. You might as well go ahead and burn all your history books, because they're all wrong. Religious stuff, all wrong. The way the world works, all wrong. The way to think, all wrong. The way to use your mind, all of it is wrong. Every single thing they teach you is all wrong. You have to literally go back and relearn. I don't know. Was it a sophisticated plan to teach you these stuff? I don't know that. Some people think it is. Some people think that it was deliberately done to keep you from accessing your true power. I can see why. Some people think that human beings are just they just don't know what they're doing and they follow whatever it was. So that's up for debate. You can decide on that, but I know that it's all wrong. One thing I do know though that is correct is the way we live our lives in what's called the matrix. The way things are set up and organized to have you think and view reality a certain way. That's done through programming again in your mind, and that's done through your computer, your television. It's done through what you watch on TV, on the news. It's done through mainstream media. It's done through social media. It's done through your music. All of that has a correlation to make you think, act, and view reality a certain way. Everything you see on your news feed and everything on your social media is designed for one thing, for you to observe reality a certain way. So if someone wants you to see the world they want to see it, they will do something like that. Who are they? That's a great question. So let me tell you, who are they? They are your educational system, your teachers, professors. I'll say something about the teachers and professors. Some of them don't know that they're doing this. Okay? They are your big bankers. They are your government officials. They are your CEOs. They are your four major news corporations. They are Comcast. They are Disney. They are the companies that own the majority of the stuff you watch. They are your religious leaders. They are your priests. They are the Vatican. They are the priests. They are the religious things. That's who they are. So does that you got it now? Want me to repeat it again, or that you got it? And who they are, they control the information you receive. I'll say something about the educational system. The teachers, your professors, many of them are teaching you things that they don't even believe themselves. They're just doing it as a curriculum. Or they're teaching you things that they were taught that they have no idea how it works. So I can't blame them, but they are contributing to it because they are doing it and they don't know. But that's what it is. Okay, that's the matrix. That's it. Okay, the religious leaders that tell you like all this stuff. A lot of stuff are hidden. A lot of stuff is out there. But problem with people is, and here's the thing that they do a lot too. They got people's minds to the point where people don't want to do research. You feel lazy to do research. I'm not doing it, because they get you in a comfort zone. So there's always something else too that you have to be careful of. And this is a good thing that this system does to you, right? It makes you very complacent and it makes you comfortable. You cannot be comfortable. If you're comfortable, you're never going to grow. Repeat that again. You cannot be comfortable all the time. If you're comfortable, you will never reach your full potential. Now, I'll say this. I'll take an asterisk. You can be comfortable if you're at a point where you truly know you have everything you want. A lot of people aren't there though. Think about that. You have to learn to become uncomfortable. You have to make the uncomfortable comfortable, because that's how your mind is going to react. I'll give you an example right now. I'll give you a huge tip that can change your whole mind right now. I'll show you something powerful. If you want to train your brain to see better reality or just have more access to better knowledge and information about your brain, I'm going to show you a very simple technique you can do every day. And I'm going to show you how your brain works and why if you're comfortable. So check this out. So we have two types of people in the world. We have people who are right-handed, and we have people who are left-handed. So you have right-handed people, you have left-handed people. Okay? If you are a right-handed person, and you that means you brush your teeth right-handed. If you do this simple exercise every day, I'm going to show you right now, you will change the map in your brain. You'll have more opportunities. Your brain will start to give you more information. If you start to brush your teeth, practice to brush your teeth with your left hand, because you're not comfortable with your left hand. If you brush your teeth every day, it's going to feel weird as hell. You're like, But if you start to practice every day brushing your teeth with your left hand, here's what happens in the brain. Inside the brain, you have synaptic nerves, you have neurons, you have axons, dendrites. Inside the brain, the cells are going to start to, they're going to start to rewire, because the brain is learning something new. Yes, some people are ambidextrous, but not a lot of individuals are. So if you're ambidextrous, this is not, obviously it's not going to work for you. But for the individuals that aren't, you're brushing your teeth. The brain now will start to rewire itself, because it's learning something different. And if you start doing this, even though you're right-handed, but you start left-handed, in a few weeks you do this every day, guess what happens? You become ambidextrous. In that part, you'll notice like, hey, I'm brushing my teeth like my right hand. So you can go right hand, you can go left hand. So what happened? Because when I first started, it was hard. But now it's like, that's because your brain learned. It learned a pattern. You see, you became uncomfortable and it became comfortable. Now, so the big picture is, okay, Mark, so I'm brushing my teeth with my right hand and left hand. That's not the big picture here. What you don't understand or realize is, by doing that, when you rewired your brain, you also opened filters of new opportunities. So there becomes now new ways to view the world. So what happens when you go out, your brain will start to show you different things that you didn't know was possible, different ways to do things. And they'll come to you like out of the blue. That's because by training the mind from right hand to left hand, you opened up all, so the brain starts to look for now, okay, what else can I show them that we can do? That's just a small example of that. See that? So what happens when you're in the matrix, they keep you away from that, so they show you something to make you consistently comfortable. So you get up every day. What do people, listen, a routine. Let's talk about routine. You are a routine-driven being. If you don't have a routine, you can't do nothing. Everybody has a routine. You know what time you're going to get up. You drink your coffee. You eat your bagel. You go to work. You do this. You take that special route. That's the routine. Everyone the routine. So what happens when you're in a matrix is they focus on keeping your routine. But they focus on keeping a specific routine for you. They want you to have a routine to be subordinate to the system. Your routine is like a robot, I call them NPCs, non-player characters. They distract you with entertainment to keep you watching certain things so you can think about other people's success instead of yours. Celebrities, why do you think so many of them are on television? They're showing you the big life. They're showing you the money. They show, hey, be like this person. They put the reality shows. They're showing you the ladies. You have to dress like this. You have to watch this person. And it's distracting you from you. Because now you get up in the morning, you're thinking about, oh, look at last night. Did you see last night's episode, what she did? Girl, she bought that new car. Da-da-da-da. And you're going to work. You're not even thinking about yourself. You got to wise up. See what I'm showing you? So all these things you see, that while they provide you with some sort of giddiness or happiness, they aren't getting you where you want, because you're focused on someone else. You're not focused on yourself. And that's what the Matrix wants. They want you to be distracted from you. That's why you go to work. When people go to work, what do they talk about? Man, you seen that game last night, man? That man had 25 points. Man, you seen that new car he got? Man, you seen, Real Housewives last night? Did you watch that? But nobody is talking about, man, You see what I'm going to create? You see my dream I got to do? It's all a distraction. And it's all pumped into you in the mainstream media. Now I could get deep. I could get deep on now. I could go deeper now. I could talk about the music now. Now the music. Yeah, man. See, I'm listening to this. I'm going to do that. People don't understand the power of music. One of the most powerful weapons the Matrix uses against everyone is music. Let me show you something about music in the subconscious mind if you don't know this. If you're someone that's listening to music and the music has a lot of negative stuff, it's about lack, it's about fear, it's about competition, it's about all the negative things. Even though the lyrics sound really good to you, the lyrics will sound good, but the actual material, the words, what they say, your subconscious takes that stuff and makes your life become that very thing. People don't get this stuff. Repeat that. The music you listen to becomes you. So, man, what do you mean, bro? I listen to music. I listen to hype music. I listen to whatever gangster. I listen to bad stuff. But I'm not going to do it. I hear what they're talking about, but I'm not going out there and shoot someone. I'm not going to go out there and rob someone. I'm not going to be struggling, man. I like it, though. But that can't affect me, bro, because I hear it. No, you don't hear it. Let me get deep on you. No, you don't hear it. What you hear is the conscious version of it. So let me show you something about your subconscious mind. It's not like your regular mind. Your regular mind has the ability to differentiate, to analyze, but your subconscious does not. Your subconscious is illogical. Let me repeat that. You know what illogical means? It can't think. So every single word that music says, the subconscious accepts it as truth. Now, if you listen to that music over and over, now your subconscious is gonna get the pattern. So if you listen to that every day, but you know that your subconscious is gonna take those words. And remember, how does the subconscious works? It's more powerful than your conscious mind. Why? Because it controls habits. It will make you do something you don't even want to do. It will make you do something you don't even want to do, and you can't control it. So the subconscious gets this stuff. Now, after a while, maybe after a couple years or so, you start noticing something about your life. Maybe you start noticing you're not as happy. You're like real moody. You're edgy. You're getting more angry. You're feeling like all this type of stuff kind of way. That's because of the music, man. Then you notice you're not doing stuff. You're not like inspired. Things aren't working out for you. That's because the music, man. What you listen to, man, it's your subconscious creates a reality on that. So a manifestation hack is do not listen to music that's not going to help you. Listen to music that spits positive words. I mean, that's rare to find nowadays, man. I don't know if you could find any music like that inspire you and tell you what you need to do and get focused on this. That I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is there music like that still out there? I don't even know if music like that's still out there. So maybe you got to go back in the days like my parents' days in the 40s and 50s where they got good music like that, where music just talks about being happy and just regular stuff. Music nowadays, man, it's crazy, man. And that's why I know the Matrix is controlling it, man, because I see the music and I was like, yo, these music, they all have like the same type of flow, man. You know what I'm saying? They're really pushing people from themselves. So you see how subtle these things are, but you don't even know, right? Music, even like like the children's shows you let your kids watch, right? Some of those children's shows you're watching, like some of the stuff they put on there, you don't see the deep subconscious thing behind it. You know, I'll use one example to you, and people don't even know how they program you. I'll talk about Sesame Street. So everybody watch Sesame Street, right? I'm going to show you something deep here. So if you watch Sesame Street, they got all these different characters on Sesame Street back in the days. They got this guy named Oscar the Grouch. They got the Count, and they got the Big Bird. Now, when you're a kid and you're watching this stuff, you don't see deep picture what they're doing here. So what happens is, so this guy named Oscar, he lives in a trash can. So when the kids come in and they see Oscar, the first thing they say, man, the guy says, hey, there's Oscar the Grouch. And the kids say, hey, you're grouchy. So they're already teaching you to put people in class. You see that? You're a grouch. So the mind now starts to what? Create what we call that. What do you call that? Stigmas. Judgments. See that? He's a grouch. He's happy. Stay away from the grouch. Da 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 da. That's why people have judgments. That's why people have stereotypes. That's why you see someone. All of that is a program, man. You didn't even realize that one. It's teaching, it's breaking you apart from different classes, man. Biases. Right? So you gotta for you to get out of this. Well, okay. First of all, I'll say this so you can understand it. You cannot escape. When I say escape, or people think, well, I could get out of the matrix. There's no way you can physically get out of the matrix, but you can mentally conform the matrix to you. So what do I mean by that? You can be in the matrix, but the matrix works for you. That means the matrix is just like anything else. It can be programmed by your perception. So while you're in the matrix, you can conform the matrix to work for you. But that means you could take the negative stuff the matrix is using and create it by positive stuff. That means you just don't focus on the negative, you focus on the positive, and the matrix will reflect that in your life. So you can be in the matrix and you can be in the vicinity of someone who's deep in the matrix having all type of problems, but yet you're thriving because you conform the matrix to you. But you cannot physically escape the matrix. You can't just go, because we're all trapped in this game. What about religion? Can that be the answer? Man, if I start talking about religion and spread some truth on religion, somebody here is going to report me and they're going to ban this this live. So I'm not even going to touch that. I'll touch a couple things on religion, because I can tell you what religion really is and how they program your religion. But there's just so many people here that I'll just save that for another day. But what I will tell you about religion and the things about religion is what I've experienced myself, because I was very religious. I was a Christian, and then I became a Jehovah's Witness. So, and I seen both spectrums. I know the Bible from the back to the front, and I discovered something I discovered about religion is I discovered that there is this innate state in you. Okay, let me say one thing about religion, and I'm going to leave it, and then I'm going to leave you guys to think about this. Okay, so human beings, there has been about, since evolution of the earth, there's been 6 species of human beings. We're called the Homo sapiens. So far, we're the only ones that survived. So Homo erectus, Homo habilis, Neanderthal, and a couple other species they discovered, and then we branched off and became Homo sapiens. So think about this. So Homo sapiens, let's use us now. So we've been around for about 6,000 years. First of all, I want to show something deep. You got to think about this. 70% of human history is missing. We don't know anything about it. We only know 30%. And the 30% is what I'm talking about, the 6. So there are 70% of the history of humans or how the earth is missing. We just can't figure it out. We don't know it. We don't find anything about it, because we know the earth is millions and billions, we know evolved. So I want you to get that itself. So 70% of that is missing. So let's just go to the Homo sapiens, us. We've been around 6,000 years. When did religion come about? Religion started really in, let's say we've been around 6,000 years. Religion was created roughly 2,500 years ago. I'm talking Buddhism, Hinduism, all that. What were human beings doing before religion? Here's what they were doing, because now they document this. So before religion, which was invented and created, Humans had an innate spiritual ability to connect with the universe. There's a tribe in Eastern Africa, they're called the Dogons. They were the best at quantum physics and mathematics. These people knew the solar system map thousands of years before NASA discovered how the planets lie. They could show you they showed you where Neptune and Jupiter was. They had images of other beings visiting them. They called them gods, and they showed this. They said these beings taught them mathematics and how the stars and how this. They drew maps, and then if you take the Dogons maps and you place it into you go into whatever NASA, or you look at the map of a solar system, it matches. And these people are primitive. They didn't know planes. This was thousands of years, hundreds of years before all of this. They knew exact things. Now, these people, and you have indigenous tribes that believed that they were connected to the universe, that they and the universe were one, that they were actually like the God up part of the universe. Okay? Thousands of years. So humans had this innate connection with spirituality. Then religion came along, which was created by men. And yes, all this thousands of years before Bible, all of that. So I have a question for you. So one of them was invented and one of them was organic. That's all I got to say about religion. So who you truly are you connected to the universe? Are you, like what you say, God, experiencing God? Because that's what the record is showing. Or then someone came along and invented religion and told you that no, you're not. There's this guy that sits on a throne, and there's this guy that will tell you what to do, and da 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 da. So there's my answer to that. So now you can go figure that out. But you have an innate ability. So it's like me now. I'll put it in simple terms so you can understand. So I innately have an ability to build like a wooden boat. Okay, so I can do that. From the day I was born, I could build wooden boats. No one taught me that. Then a guy comes along and invent a school to build wooden boats. So I'm building my wooden boat, but this guy comes along and says, "Hey man, that's not how you build a boat." So I build the boat. I said, "Look, this is my boat." He says, "Yeah, this is your boat, but the boat has this and the boat has that. We got to cut the boat can't float. Let's take that off." I'm like, a boat floats. So this guy is recreating my boat. This guy's telling me something that I innately know how to build. That's what religion is doing to you, bro. Spirituality and religion are two different things. I innately know what to do, and then religion came along and then tried to tell me what to do. This is how you do it. That's why religion never bonded with me, because when I was in religion and Christian and all that stuff, my spirit was always fighting. There was just something in me that was just telling me, man, hey, bro, something's off, something's wrong. And this is the thing people get, the confusion people get, is that God and the universe are separate. God is the universe. The universe is God. That's what I'm talking about. Again, God, what is God? Another thing man made up. It's a language to describe something. So, okay then. So what is all of this then? Here's what the true thing is. Here's how it works. So if you want to know who God, I'm talking about the God is, here's what he is, guys. It is your high consciousness. It's the consciousness of awareness. It's the consciousness of intelligence. It's all the knowledge and information put forth into your heart and into your mind. That's what God is. It's an energy of a frequency, a mathematical equation that if you describe it as intelligence, it has the ability to give you what you want and what you don't want. It cannot judge you. It doesn't have a thought pattern like a human being does. It gives you based on what you focus on. It can't, like, there's no bias in it. It doesn't have a favorite and all that stuff. That's what religion made up for you. So what happens when we die? Where do we go? I cannot definitively answer that for you, but what I can tell you is that death is in the end. It's a transition. There's all different theories out there. So you can be, reincarnation is truth. I know that. They took that out of the Bible if you didn't know that. In the 12th century Council of Nicaea, when the Romans were creating the Bible, they decided to take reincarnation out because it didn't fit their system of what they wanted to put forth to you guys. Did you know that? So you can come back. It's a multiverse. There's different parts where your energy, your consciousness, you could go into a different evolution of existence. There's different transitions. There's something beyond imagination that is unimaginable for us. So that what I can tell you though, and is the heaven and hell thing. Nah. That's not a part of it. That was made up by religion. And there's even documented proof of that. The Vatican said it themselves. The Vatican top priest said that in an interview. They took it off now. You can't find it on YouTube, but they took it out. But he clearly says the church created hell to keep its members in check. They want to use fear for you to do their bidding. Sorry. But look, this is stuff that you can go research yourself and check it out. But this is just my personal experience and things of that sort. So there is a God, but this God doesn't work like the God religion made. This God is your what's called consciousness, the ability, and it exists in all of us. It's passing through you and I right now, and it's the part that gives you your life force, that gives you the energy, that gives you the ability to dream, to think, to manifest. It gives you everything you desire based on what you're focused. It's not there judging you. It's not there doing any of that stuff. So I'll say this, and this is my personal experience, guys. So when I was in religion and Christian, all that stuff, the big thing that I noticed that when I got out of it was this. When I got out of it, I became more caring. I became more aware, and I found more peace. And you know why? Because in religion, it was teaching me that I had to create classes of different people, that certain people were bad, and I couldn't see the good in all human beings. So when I see certain people, I would associate them as bad. So religion teaches you, as someone says, to divide and conquer. So I was always have this stereotype about people. I would judge. But now when I found peace in who I truly am and spiritual aspect, I found the true nature of reality, true nature of everything. Don't judge, accept, observe, peace. Every person is a projection. See that? That's me, my personal stuff. So I'm not convincing or telling anyone to just you need to go do that or do all that stuff. So I'm just showing you a different perspective of it. See how it works? That's the main point about all of this stuff here. So there is so much to learn, and that you probably, I mean, hopefully the stuff I'm putting forth here will make you guys think, and it opens your mind just to be more, just so that you can go and do more exploration, and you can think, and you have an open mind. Because a lot of stuff that we surround, we don't know the half of it, and you can't, you know, some things will just shock you, man. It really does. Because human beings, we have what we call our beliefs, our paradigm. And the thing about human beings and beliefs are, it's a tricky game, because even when you see something that is a fact, your belief can counter that. Even when something is fact, you see like the thing happening, but you still don't believe it. And that's because the belief creates what's called confirmation bias. The mind doesn't like to change. The mind doesn't accept change. That's why some people are so hard, you know, even when they see the fact of it, they find it hard to believe. But what the fact is, when they see it, okay, let me give you an example of what it is. Show you how to run it home for you. So let's use relationships so you can see what you. So let's say you have your spouse, and you guys been together for years, and this person has been very respectful, honest, and so now you have a belief about your spouse. There's a form now. There's a personality. So you know this person for, like, say, 5 to 10 years. And then one day you found something about your spouse. He was doing all the opposite of what you didn't think of him. But you didn't believe it, and then you seen proof of it. Someone showed you something. That's what it feels like when someone shows you the truth. Just like that. Like, in your mind, you're shocked. You're trying to make sense of it all because you knew this person for so long. Like, no, she or he would never do that. Show me. And then they show you. And you're like, you get emotionally down, betrayal. Your mind now starts freaking out. It can make even some people go into, like, becoming mentally depressed, or your whole view of reality warps now. Now, for every person you go out and date, you can't date no more because you can't trust, because this one person shook up your paradigm, your belief structure. But the truth is, now, here's the truth about it. You can change, because that person did it doesn't mean every single person will do it, right? But your mind convinces you that every single person will do it. That's the trick. So that's why I say that to show you, this is why it's difficult for people to break free from the matrix, because the matrix programs you like that. It gives you stuff over and over to create a paradigm. So when you do see the truth of it, it becomes very difficult for you to digest. You'd rather be depressed, you'd rather ignore it, you'd rather create confirmation bias than accept the truth of how things work. That's how it is. Yeah, someone says, who's this? That the mind is a terrible thing to waste. Yes, that's true. But the mind is the most powerful thing and the easiest thing to infiltrate, man. That's the thing about this matrix and all this stuff, guys, is your mind is so easy to infiltrate. And it's a product of your subconscious. Your subconscious is so easy to trick. It's so easy to program it. But once the program stuck, it becomes difficult to change it. You can change it, but you have to do what I just mentioned earlier. You have to do it repetitively. And the matrix knows this. Schools know this. They all know this stuff. They know that. That's why you see. Why do you think you see the same commercials over and over again? Why do you think they show you the same things over and over? Why do you think that? Because they know that the mind works with repetition. If I can show you something every day, the same thing every single day, you in your conscious mind, you're just saying, man, I ain't sweating that. Your subconscious says, man, I'm sweating that. I want that. And you don't even you don't even know that you've been infiltrated. You're like, you don't even know that. You've been programmed. Congratulations, you've been programmed. We're all programmed, guys. I'm programmed, you're programmed. But it depends what kind of program. See, I'm programmed to be an optimist. I deliberately did that myself. So I'm programmed too. So I ask you, what's your program? Because everyone's programmed. You're either going to be programmed by your environment, you're either going to be programmed by your own thoughts, you're either going to be programmed by your parents, by your teacher, by your father, by your religious leader, by your government, by who you trust, by your favorite actor, actress, by your favorite music artist. If you have someone that you look up to and you consider them your idol, your motivate, whatever it is, you are programmed. And when you become programmed, it becomes difficult for you to see the program. Because what happens, the program infiltrates and it goes into your conscious mind. So your conscious mind accepts the program as a normal thing. So all along you're walking out doing your thing and you don't even know your program. So you gotta know, okay, what kind of program do I want? I'll make it easy for you and show you this one. This is gonna make sense for you to show you how this stuff works. So let's say you are programmed to be an optimist. Okay? So you got the mindset to dream big. But let's say your best friend that you know for many years isn't optimist, but he's not a pessimist either, right? So both of you guys, you hang out and you go certain places, right? So you're talking to your friend and you're telling your friend about this big dream that you want to create. But your friend tells you, bro, you can't do that. And you say, why? Then your friend gives you evidence of why. He says, well, the economy, you're not qualified, all that stuff. You're both programmed now. You're programmed to be an optimist, but he's programmed the other one. So what I'm showing you is, based on your program, your own mind will fight you to keep the program. So while your friend can't see the big picture, and you can, your friend now will, he's not doing it consciously, but he's actually hating on you. He's telling you you won't do it. Now, what that does now, your friend now will start to put energy towards you not succeeding. Every time you see that friend now, if you talk something positive, he's going to hit you with something negative. Because his program, he believes it. Because it's not in his program. He can't see how things can be big and different. You can. But his program will fight your program. That's where haters come from. That's where people with bad mind come from. That's where negative energy come from. The programs. Because he's going to protect his program and you're going to protect your program. So what happens with these programs? Well, very simple. He'll continue to live in a world of struggle and lack. And he's going to be happy with that because he thinks there are no other way. He accepts his fate. You, on the other hand, you will continue to expand and you get more stuff in your life. And eventually, you're going to have to leave that friend, man. Because now you're vibrationally incompatible. Guess what? Big news for you. Not only happens with friends, it happens with family. It happens with your loved one. It happens with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, your husband. It's going to come a point like that. That's now when someone says, Mark, be real. Now I'm being real. That's the reality of that part. Because if something is vibrationally incompatible, the high vibration will move along. But there's a but here now. If you know that your high vibrational is moving, you can also get sucked and become a part of the negative thing. Someone says your energy is your real currency. So you have to be very careful with who you spread your energy to, man. Who you tell your dreams, your goals, your aspirations, the stuff you want to create in your life. You can't tell them to just anybody. Because who was it? Someone said, was it Will Smith or was it one of these motivational guys? They said something very powerful. I don't know who it was, but they said something. They said, and they use God as this term, but I'll get to make the point. They say God didn't put a dream in that person. He only put it in you. So that person can never see your dream because it wasn't part of his makeup. So that's the program I'm talking about. So there's some people that will never see your biggest goals because they're incapable of it because their program is limited, the mind. That's why these people will fight you. They'll fight you. They'll fight you to prove you wrong. They'll fight you to show you why you can't do it. They'll hate on you. They'll tell you why you can't. But yet, when you do it, because you will do it, because the program is going to fulfill itself. So when you do manifest these big things and all this stuff, you know what they do? They become jealous of you now. And you know what they do to you? They start to blame you. Man, you can help me, man. Bro, we've been friends for 10 years, bro. You make all this money and you're going to leave me in the dirt. I've been your friend for so long. They expect you to give them a handout. I had to cut someone off like that. You know what? It was a family member, it was an uncle. Cut him off. At one time, this guy was giving me advice, my family member. He was doing all good stuff. And then when I started to just be more abundant, make more stuff, you know, because he was family, I had this program. I had to help him, and that was a program. See, I had to change that. You know, I would help him out financially, all this stuff. And then one day just click and say, hey, what are you doing, man? This guy ain't doing nothing for you. He's like leeching off of you. You're getting all this stuff. You're doing all the work. You're creating, and he's leeching. I was like, yeah, you're right. Even though it's family, I had to change that program. And once I changed the program, he hated me. See how people work? It was totally different. They were only with you because of what you can do for them, what you can contribute to them, even family. See? And the truth came out, and I was like, man, I'm glad, because now it showed me that even though this person was family, he wasn't really for me. He was just with me because of what I could do. Because I could do stuff. If I win the lottery, I win some money in the lottery, I would always give him some, you know, and to the point, I was like, man, you know, when I get these numbers in my dream, I would give it to him. I say, man, you need to play this because this is going to come out. He's like, yeah, I'll play it. And meanwhile, I'd sit there, I meditate, I play my numbers, And then when my numbers come out, I get a big sum. And I'm like, hey, I call him. I'm like, did you play? Oh man, nah. You see what they do? They rely on you. Because in his mind, he's like, man, I know Mark's gonna win, so I'm gonna let him play, man. He's gonna give me some of that. I did the work. And I wised up. I was like, no, I'm not giving you anything. I played this for 6 months. I gave you the number. I said, this is going to come out. You could have $250,000, $300,000. So you want me to give you what I earned, what I manifested? That's what he did. He was like leeching there, waiting for me. And then when I told him, I was like, yeah, man, I'm going to go. He's like, so you're not going to give me anything? I'm like, I gave you the number. What more do you want me to give you? You could get up and go play just like I did. See how people are? See how people work? I sat for 6 months, doing this, putting that number in, and the number came out. And this guy looked at me and called me like ungrateful and said at least I could give him at least 5,000 or so. I'm like, why would I do that? I gave you the key, man. It's not my fault you didn't have the faith to play. So what you want me to do? So you're just gonna sit back and let Mark do it? Yeah, somebody said that right. Buy it, cook it, feed them, and clean up too. Yeah, that's what he wanted me to do. But see, I changed my program. I'm like, man, no way. I gave you the jewel. I told you. I said, look. And look, this guy knows because he sees all the numbers that I play before they come out. So it's not like someone new. So he knows this. He knows when I get a number and I put it in, it's going to come out. He knows that. And that's what they do, man. People, man. These people, man, they, you know, and just because they're your family, see, just because he was family, that ego or that subconscious says it's a family. And I'm like, hell no, it's a family. Because now I understand how the world and the universe works. I said, family, we don't care about family. You know, sometimes your own friends is better than your own family, and family don't do stuff like this to you. Family will use you just like anybody else. People, listen, man, people will use you if you give them the opportunity to use you. They'll take advantage of your kindness and all that stuff, man. So there was no more taking my kindness for weakness. I cut him off. Cut him off. You know what? He never called me back or say, hey, man, how you doing? Da, da, da. So it just showed you what they are and who they are, man. And that's a sad nature. See, that's a paradigm thing. See, my belief was, our family do this. And then when that happened, it shook my belief, right? See that? I'm showing you how my belief changed. It's like, man, here's someone that I thought the world of. As older as my uncle, man. This guy is, give me good advice, man. But now I knew the reason he was around. He was around because it was leeching off of what I was creating. If I couldn't do something for you, then that's how they work. So it's just the world we live in. So someone says, we're mirrors, but wasn't he just showing up the way you expected him to? You manifested that too. So this is I'm glad you asked that question, because this is a very confusion about a lot of people when it comes to manifesting hacks. So listen. So when someone says we're a mirror and people are projections, it's not talking about what you're experiencing. Remember, guys, people have free will and they have their own agendas. Okay, so this person wasn't showing up because I expected him to show up that way. This person was the way he was automatically. Remember this, guys. The dark will always be attracted to the light. The dark wants to go to the light. So this will happen just because you're a good person, you have high vibrations. There are people with ulterior motives will come to you, and it has nothing to do with you're projecting them. It's just how it works, guys. They're just some people who are opportunists to leech off of you. And that's all this was. It wasn't nothing about me manifesting a projection or we're mirrors. None of that. It does. You know, that's not how it works. These people have free will, they see an opportunity and they see that you're this and they know they can do it, they're going to do it. It's nothing with you. So don't blame yourself and say, oh my God, I manifested this. You didn't manifest that. It's just how people work. So you got to get that misconception out the way. That, oh man, I manifested this because maybe I was that way. Nope, you didn't manifest that. What happened was the dark seen the light and it wanted to get a piece of the pie. That's all that is. So a lot of you guys get into like your feelings and start to worry like, man, this guy was like treating me bad. He was what is it? He was mentally abusing me. Why do I keep getting these toxic guys? Is that something I'm manifesting, Mark? Or is that something I'm doing? Not necessarily. It could just be that you're a very high vibrational person and you're good, and this person seen the light and wanted to take advantage of you. That could be it. Or it could be now that maybe you have a subconscious map where you're used to like dating these guys and then you subconsciously want to. What I'm showing you is not always you projecting it, guys. It's majority of the times it's just you being your authentic self, and you have people that just want to take advantage. Point blank. So the mirror thing, you have to understand how the mirror thing works. It's not like a one fits all thing. It's a different variables that can happen in that. All right? People call them energy vipers, energy vampires. Yeah, the thing you got to remember is whenever you're attracting like these type of people into your life, leechers, people who just want, it's like what you can do for them. If you don't do something for them, it's never, it's all about you. You got to remember this, guys, is that high vibes, the low vibe will always want to go to the high vibe. Just like I said, dark will always seek out the light. So majority of the times, they just see you as an opportunity. It has nothing to do with your emotional stuff sometimes. It's the fact that you're just a person that's good, you're genuine, you want to help, you're doing your thing, and because you have the ability to do it, and they see that, and they come into your space, and they just get a piece of it. See that? So don't get down and feel like, man, I messed up. I'm doing all this stuff. The only time you will know if you're projecting this instead of them just looking for an opportunity is if you notice a pattern before. If you've been doing this a lot, like with relationships, if you're toxic and you notice like, man, then you notice, okay, I got some subconscious thing. But situations like my personal situation is nothing to do with what I'm projecting. It just happened to do with someone who was older than me, and because they were older than me, they had a little more experience and they knew the right words to say to me. And because it was a family thing, they kind of knew. So that was a little different. So they can do that. And that's where the paradigm shift comes in, and that's where you experience like, a paradigm shift. Paradigm shifts are very powerful. They can really affect you a lot. I have to change. I'm going to change locations here because now the sun is on. The sun is like too much sun here. When the sun hits the back of the phone, it gets hot, and then my phone will turn off because my phone will say too hot from the sun and the battery. So I'm going to go somewhere a little shadier. I could find somewhere. But but that's what I want you guys to kind of understand, that you got to always be at a different point. Turn this up here. Little spot over here. So you see how it works? That's what I want you to understand. Do not make sure your paradigm, your beliefs should be in accordance with what you want. Like, I'll say this about people, right? So when it comes to people, the thing that I've learned that can help you is, and here's my new take on people, guys, and this is facts here, so listen up to this. Right? So There's going to come a point in your life where you're going to notice you're going to have less and less friends. Repeat that again. There's going to come a point in your life where you're going to notice you're going to become more of like a loner. Not like a nomad or like, oh, I'm just lonely. But no, you're going to have very few friends. Okay? And when that point comes in your life, it's because of majority of one thing. Because you are experiencing your spiritual awakening and you're becoming enlightened. In other words, you're seeing through the bullshit. So what happens now, the reason why you have fewer and fewer friends is because you realize what people are. So here's the map. If they aren't motivating you, if they aren't inspiring you, if they're not contributing in some way toward your goal, if they're not on board with your goal, you have to let them go. The smart people, the wise ones, they have few friends because they realize this truth. That's how it works. Think about it, guys. You're on a mission here. You have purpose here. You came to do something with your life here, man. You don't have time for this. You don't have time for people to leech on you, to doubt you, to make you feel less confident, to make you feel insecure of yourself. You don't have time for that, man. So this is the new move now. This is the new law. If they ain't motivating me, if they ain't inspiring me, if they're not contributing to my goals, if they're not doing something that's helping me to be better at what I'm doing, if they're not making me better than I was yesterday, I don't need them. Repeat it. I don't need them. Now this applies to people who are just like constantly badgering you or anything like that. I mean, some of you can still have friends that are just neutral. They may not do that, but you know who I'm talking about. These are to the ones I'm talking about. Because what they're going to do, they're going to corrupt your vibration. They're going to mess up your frequency. They're going to create havoc. You're going to lose your focus. You're going to be off course because you're going to constantly think about what they're saying and constantly try to do that stuff. You don't need these people, man. Look, you came here and you got this one life here that we know of. You may transition somewhere else, but while you're here, you have so much other stuff going on in your life. Why would you put up with people that aren't helping you in some way? Forget about the guilt, how they try to make you feel. Oh, I know him, man, I knew him too long. I knew him for 10 years. He's my family. Hey, I cut my uncle off. That was my family. It's my mother's brother. Do I care? I don't care. I told my mom that. She knows what's up. And I'll cut her off too if she does that, but she's not going to do it. I don't care, man. She does that, but she's not going to do it. I don't care, man. I came here to do something. I'm going to do it. I'm not going to let nobody corrupt my way. You know, my grandmother always said to me, man, Mark, don't ever let anybody interrupt your peace. That always stood out to me. I didn't know what it meant back then, but now I know what it sure means now. And she passed away like years ago. But she would always say, Mark, don't let anyone corrupt your peace or interrupt your peace. And that's what it was, is these people, man. The biggest distractions, really, of your manifestation will always be people. Because they contain emotional connections. The biggest blocks of your manifestation will not necessarily be your subconscious. It won't be like inanimate stuff. It'll be people. Because as human beings, we have a connection with people. Who has the biggest influence on us? People. Right? So, this happens now when you're ascending. A lot of people won't get this. The ones who get this will get it, but a lot of people won't get this because maybe they're not there yet. But there's going to come a point when you're going to be there. So, for those who are there, you got to let this sink in. The more you can do the work by yourself, the better you will become. The more you can do the work with people that are with you, the better you will become. Because what happens is, when you let those people go, you open up a new reality for people who match your frequency. You can't get what you deserve if you're holding on to what doesn't serve you. So that perfect person out there, that guy that's going to help you, that girl that's going to help you, that person that's going to open an opportunity for you, he can't come to you if you're vibrationally locked with these leeches, man. These vampires. You can't. And the reason, here's something I want to keep in mind. So I'm going to show you why you can't let them go. Why it's so hard for you to let them go. The reason why it's so hard for you to let these people go, it has nothing to do with you consciously, because you want to let them go. But somehow you're attached to them. You know why? Because you're subconsciously connected to them. There's a part of the subconscious. When you want to leave, you can't leave. Because the subconscious now sends messages to the conscious. You start to rationalize. But I knew them for so long. I'll give them another chance. Maybe it'll change. It's not that bad. I'll just ignore it. I can handle it. It's not affecting me. I'll just limit them. I'll talk to them once a week. I'll do twice a week. See? That's why it's so hard for you to let it go. But if you understand the rules and how this stuff works, you cut them off immediately. Because I'm thinking like this. So I came to this planet here to do something. And there's so much stuff happening. And I know that what I want is here. And I know how my mind works. And this person here is interrupting my peace. I can't get to where I want to go because every time I say something, they ridicule it or they just down. And that's making me feel some type of way. I don't want to feel some type of way. I want to feel my peace. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go for my peace. I'm going to cut you off. Thank you. Have a great day. I don't hate you. Not that. But I know that you are not right for me. So I'm going to exit stage left. I exit stage left. When you do that, something opens. You get new people coming into your life. Now you get people who resonate with your soul. People who are happy for you. People who want to see you do good. People are actually rooting for you. And people that you're inspiring, and they're coming to you and they're telling you, oh man, thank you. See now? Now you start to find your tribe. You start to resonate with stuff. That's the big manifestation hack that we all need to know, man. Is that your biggest enemy sometimes is not your mind. Biggest enemy is the people you surround yourself with. Because they have emotional influences on you. You gotta look, this is a game. The nature of the game is for you to get to the highest place where you can find peace and happiness, where you can have your dreams and goals. That's why you came here. When you were born, your natural vibration is to be happy. The cells, roughly 38 trillion cells in your body, and they are all programmed for health and wellness. Let me repeat that. Roughly 38 trillion cells comprise your human body. Within these cells, they're all programmed for primary health, for you to feel happy and peace. How do you know that, Mark? Well, because when you were born, if that wasn't the case, 90% of all births would end in defects. That means 90% of all births, people would be suffering from unhappiness. It doesn't work that way. 90% of all births are aligned to be happy. So your DNA is comprised to keep you well, to keep you healthy. That's why you have an immune system. If this wasn't the case, you would have an immune system. Everything will get you down. So we know that, okay, so I came here to be in a state of peace, tranquility, or happiness. So you deserve to be that. So anything that's taking you away from that is depleting your cells. Your health will suffer. Your mental things will suffer. You see big picture here? You see how deep this stuff get? People don't even consider this, man. In other words, these people will make you literally make you sick. They'll rob your health, your wellness, man. Can you guide us to basics of learning how to manifest attention? Attention is very simple. Focus on what you want, and what you don't want, let it fade. It's a one-track mind when it comes to attention. The rules of attention is only focus on what you want. Anything else will not exist. That's the easiest tip about attention. Do not focus on what you don't want. That's the best truth I could give you when it comes to attention. But I'll go back to the cells in your body and how you're programmed for success and all this stuff. So if my cells in my body are programmed for health and all this stuff and happiness and all this stuff, if you think about it, where does inspiration come? You can't achieve anything in life if you're not motivated or have some kind of happiness or motivation. It doesn't happen. No one ever does great things in a state of unhappiness or in a state of fear or doubt. All the great stuff, that the inventions you see in your life, your car, all that came in someone's head when they were in a state of either peace, tranquility, happiness. You will never do great things in fear or unmotivated. It just doesn't work that way, man. Go back in your own life. Have you done great things when you feel bad? No. When you feel bad and down, you just want to chill. You don't want to do anything. You're not up. But you do great things when you get like motivated. Why do you think people drink those coffee, that caffeine? Because it gets them hyped. They want to do stuff because you are genetically, evolutionary programmed that way. So you got to understand the big game here. The game of this matrix is for you to get to your goal by releasing as much resistance as possible, by getting at things that don't serve you and bring things that serve you into your life. Your life should be about this. Your life should be, okay, what type of things am I allowing? Everything in your life should have one purpose: moving you towards your goal. From what you watch, to what you eat, to who you talk to the music you listen to what you on social media. If any of that stuff isn't moving you to what you want, you ain't gonna get it. Do you sometimes drink coffee? I used to, but I stopped drinking coffee because caffeine had an effect on my gut. And if you don't know this, I'll say this. There's another manifesting hack that who's this here? Jane Hard. Your gut actually creates your reality because your gut contains microbes that manifest your reality. Your gut sends out frequencies, intuitions in your gut. So for me, caffeine would always create this nervousness or this anxiousness, and my reality would have a lot of nervousness and anxiousness. So when I cut out caffeine, I noticed my reality change. That's how I discovered my gut is what creates reality. I'll go into the gut a little later to show you why your gut creates your reality. Your gut, first of all, your gut produces the chemicals your brain uses: dopamine, DMT, serotonin. Majority of that is actually produced in the gut, and then it gets transferred to your brain. Your gut also has the ability to cut the brain off and do its own creation. Your intuition's in your gut. So your gut has the highest vibrational frequencies because your gut, the microbes in your gut, and they interact with these chemicals, they create electromagnetic frequencies. And the heart is the next organ that has more of that. But yeah, but back to the people thing here. So you should be concentrating. Your life should be, okay, who can help me to get where I want to go? Because in a nutshell, that's what everybody wants, man. Everybody wants to be happy. They want success. They want peace, right? Am I right? Is that what you guys want? I don't know anybody that don't want that. Okay, so if you understand that, then you have to start to build your map of reality around that, man. See, the Matrix take you away from that. The Matrix wants you to do the opposite. The Matrix encourage you to have doubters. They have what they call critics. They call haters, all that stuff. They want you to do that because it knows it plays on your emotion, it plays on your self-confidence. And the Matrix, what they do is they like to do comparison. They like to use your own confidence against you. So this is why you'll see so much of, like, when you go on Instagram or you go on social media, you see all these perfect people, the perfect weight, the perfect body. That's an illusion. In real life, they don't look like that. Most of those stuff are like filters they use. They have all these new filters where they could put all this stuff on you now. So, but the Matrix wants to do that to you because now it wants to create an image of what you think you should look like. And then when you get that image, it's not you. That's when everything falls apart. You got to understand. There's only one you. No one can ever be like you. The atomic particles, the structures of your DNA, no one can ever match that. It doesn't add up completely. So, but they want you to be in a world of comparison or competition, because the competition will take you away from who you are and try to be someone else. When you try to be someone else, you're game over, man. That's why people suffer from... Now, at this point in history, if you notice within the last 3, 4, I think it's been going up with the last 5 years, depression is at its highest. It's between young kids. Why do you think that's happening? It's because of the age of this. Look, guys, let me show you something deep. Why do you think they're creating all these filters? Beauty filters, all these different filters. Because they know it's working. They want you to see reality a certain way, man. You gotta wake up. You gotta wise up. What you see on social media and in the real world is two different things. The same people you see on social media, when you go out and see them in real life, they don't look nothing like that. Repeat that. The people you see on social media, dressed up, glamorous, all that, if you catch them going to the supermarket, you could never recognize them because they don't look like that. But the subconscious mind is so illogical that once you see someone on social media, the mind accepts that's the beauty, that's glamour, that's how I gotta look. You could never look like that because you weren't made to compete with people. You only compete with yourself. There's no comparison. So you have to learn that. And that moves you away from what you want again. That creates depression. That makes you unhealthy. It creates mental instability. It leads to a host of problems. You become sleep deprived. You develop insomnia. You develop anxiety. All of that can be attributed to what you watch and what you surround yourself. Programs you see, reality TV shows of people making a lot of money and all that. You look at your life. You say, I'm not making it. Now you see what happens here, guys? You see what happens? That's what messes you up. That's what takes you away from your true self. Once you become enlightened, you can see the whole game. You understand that everything just is. There is no competition. There is just is. It is what it is. I am who I am. I compete with myself. You have no judgment. You actually become like nonchalant. You're not plugged in. It's like you don't care. Someone says it, you become existence. Because you know the deal. The people you see and all that stuff, you know they're not you. You're not them. You're on your own journey. You don't care. You're doing your thing. Right, someone says it, Miss Cookie. The act of just being. That's the most powerful state you can have. Being right now and right here in the present. You've never done anything in the future and you've never done anything in the past. Everything, your whole life is a constant present. Your memories trick you. Your brain says this is the past. It's a memory of something that played back, but it's played back right now. When you think of your memories, you think of them now. When you think of the future, you think of them now. There's nothing in the future can ever be done except now. The future isn't tomorrow. It's not next year. That's a projection. That's human construct. I said this before. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your name, your age, all that was given to you in a man-made construct of the matrix. None of that actually exists. There's only right now, and there's only a state of being and awareness. That's who you are right now. Linear time, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, inoperable, made up, doesn't exist. Well, Mark, what about my aging? You don't age because of time. You age because of entropy. It's totally different. Time and entropy is two different things. Well, what is entropy? Entropy is a natural state of how the universe began, our transition of this universe. So when the universe began, everything will go from order to disorder. That's why your cells age. That's why you age. It has nothing to do with time. That's a trickery. Everything will always go from order to disorder. So they use time to map entropy, but it's two different things, guys. Let me run that by you again because I want you to get it. January, February, go all through the calendar, doesn't exist. Monday, Tuesday, doesn't exist. I'll put it to you like this. It will always be a Monday. Forever, it'll always be a Tuesday, whatever you think. Saturday doesn't exist. It's made up. We look at the stars and we see the rotation of the earth and we see night and day and we make it so that, and what happens is human beings, our brains, our body evolve to match that. That's why you have a circadian rhythm. That's why you go to bed at the dark and all that. Just because you evolve to match it doesn't mean it's real still. It's a concept. You just evolve to match it. So we do that just to make our lives more better or more structured. But if you understand there is always right now, you are always in a being, you are perfect who you are, there is no one to compare yourself with, then you can manifest so much stuff because now you know who your true power is. Now you've discovered, man, that's who I am. Damn. You cannot change entropy. Entropy was written in the laws of the universe. Everything must go from order to disorder. Remember, guys, as I said, you don't have to worry about this because you can never go. When you leave this earth, you can't go nowhere. You're still here because there is not a beginning or an end. You will come back at some point. You will transform. You will either transition to a different evolutionary state of energy, but you can't go. So that's just, this universe is order to disorder. That's why cells age. You have antioxidants, free radicals. Things are constantly multiplying and changing. Time doesn't cause that. Entropy causes that. Now, when we talk about time, when we talk about real time, it's this moment of now. And your subconscious only understands that. Your subconscious doesn't understand real. Did you know that your subconscious doesn't know the month, the day, the year, or your age? It doesn't know if it's 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. Did you know that? Did you know that? As in your subconscious mind, right this moment, it believes everything is happening now. This is why people struggle when they try to manifest with time stuff. When they say, oh, I want $10,000 in 60 days. I want $10,000 by June or July. And it doesn't happen. Because their subconscious doesn't understand what that is. If they say, I want 10,000, I'd like to have 10,000 now, or I make 10,000 consistently, then your subconscious can help you. Because your subconscious works with the universe. It works with the true laws of the universe. So that should give you that should be an eye-opener for you. You should say to yourself, like, dang, why is like my regular conscious mind seeing like time and my age, but my subconscious mind doesn't? That should make you think, man. So why does it do that? Because your conscious mind is trainable in the matrix. Your subconscious is not. Your conscious mind is trained. You're trained, you're programmed. So when they say, oh, you're 22, you're 19, you're 40, you're 50, you're none of that. You're just here now experiencing thing, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what you're going to call it. But I know it's all made up. I know there is no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I know calendars and all that made up. We use the Gregorian calendar. All that stuff is made up. There's just one point in space, time, and it's called now. one time. Mark, do you provide consultant services? You mean like mentoring and coaching? Yeah, I do. You can find it on my website. So who really is God? God is your awareness, your consciousness, the energy of life, the energy of inspiration, motivation, the aha moment, the good stuff, the happy stuff, the things you want, desire. That's God is. It's you experiencing yourself from a different point. Can be no other way. That's who God is. So when people say, why you talk about God like that? Now they know what I mean. The energy, the particles in you are part of God. It's your consciousness, it's your ability to be self-aware, to make a decision, to have your goals and dreams, to have them come true, to focus on something and get that. God is a frequency of different energies, an intelligent, what you want to call it, super conscious, but it works on two planes. You have the what you want and what you don't want. It'll give you that. It's not going to judge you. Do I believe in the afterlife? Yes, I believe that when we leave here, we transition somewhere else. Because according to quantum law, the energy that comprises you and I cannot be destroyed. And it has to transform. It has to change forms. That means it has to evolve. There's one constant about this universe that you have to understand. Things are constantly evolving. It seems like evolution is a construct that made the universe. So that means even after death, you still have to evolve, man. Where you evolve and go, that's a lot of theories on that. Yes, thank you. You're a wonderful teacher. Do you have a book, blog, or book? Yeah, I have 2 books. The first book is Manifested with Quantum Physics. Basically, it's talk about how reality works. The next book I recently created is How to Win the Lottery Using Quantum Physics. So, 2 books. The first one is ebook, audio. Both are ebook audio. The lottery book, ebook audio, but it's also going to be in paperback. Yeah, guys. So there's really stuff out there that you have to, once you analyze and think. And most of this stuff you can learn yourself. It comes to you, but it only can come to you when you don't have a lot of distraction. Like when you start to limit people from your life that really distract you, when you kind of set your boundaries, get in your own space, right? How does manifestation takes place? All right, that's a good question, but I want to make it answered so you guys can make it simple. So the real truth is, guys, that you never actually manifest anything. What you want has already been created. What you're really doing, you clear space and allow what you've already created to come to you. That's what manifesting is. Manifesting is all about creating space to allow your thing to come into you, because you don't create any of this stuff. Everything has already been created for you. All you're doing is you're putting your attention on it, and then through quantum physics, you attract it to you based on your emotional map and your focus. That's basically what manifestation is. Any advice on bringing more abundance into one's life? Yes, number 1, you have to feel you deserve abundance. Number 2, you have to program your mind for abundance by using subliminals. You can either use, and you have to, if we talk about money here, the thing about money is you have to now love money. If you want abundance with money, you have to appreciate money. You cannot see money as evil or greed. You have to love it. Money is conscious. Money feels the same way you feel about it. So if you feel like money is evil, it's greedy, it's not good, a religion teaches you that, you gotta get it out of your head, because you will never be abundant. You're gonna always go up and down. If you don't love money and what money can do for you, you're not gonna be abundant. Sorry. Money can create the opportunities for you to help people to grow. It'll create opportunities for you to find happiness. You can do all this type of stuff. Abundance come in all forms. But if you don't appreciate or love it, it ain't gonna work for you, man. So my advice for abundance is, first, to know you deserve it. Start loving money. appreciate what it is, use subliminals, focus on what you want, become optimist, see the best things in life, and you'll get more abundance. Money is a tool, it's an energy, that's right. I'm going to be going soon, so I'm expecting a call here. So if you see me just log off, that means my call coming in. So I'll stay here until I get my call. So religion is what really mess a lot of people up, because religion teaches you to become like a lot of stuff about being poor. Poor or happy, poor is this. Listen, man, you know this. Nobody likes being poor. Yes, but I may not be rich in my world, but I'm rich in my heart. That don't cut it. Rich in the heart ain't gonna pay your bills. Sorry. That's what they teach you. You gotta change it, man. That's a limiting belief, exactly. It's not even about suffering. Yeah, well, it's about somebody. They want you to suffer. You have to suffer to make it. You gotta go through the grind. No, you don't. You can come out and be prosperous like that. This is a game. It's all a mindset. It's a program. Whatever your subconscious accepts is illogical. Someone keeps telling you, you have to struggle to make it. You got to work hard to get it. Money can't come to you easy. Your subconscious is illogical. It takes that. Every day he hears that, it's going to make that your world, man. But if I put my subconscious to say, man, money is easy. I get stuff easy. My life is so happy and harmonious. Things always work out in my favor. I make money so quickly and easy. I'm a genius at making money. What do you think my subconscious does? My life comes like that. That's the secret to the game. Most people don't even know that. That's why so many people struggle, because they get into that indoctrination. And that's reflected and refracted in the world, in your workplace. Oh, man, you got to work hard, bro. Bro, I don't know anybody that could do that without. Bro, you got to struggle, man. You got to fight it, man. That's exactly what you're going to do. The harder you work, the less you have. Less is more. Remember that. Write that down on your journals. Less is more. Work smarter, not harder. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to suffer to get what I want. You don't have to do any of that. You're suffering because you want to suffer. You're struggling because you want to struggle. In your subconscious, that is now. That's what I'm talking about. Because that's a program they put out to you. They show you everything on the matrix. Look at this guy. He worked 10, 15 years. See, guys, hard work pays off. Now, look, there's nothing wrong with hard work. I'm not saying that. I'm showing you a principle here to show you that you'll get, your mind will just focus more on a lack. Now, to get what you want is going to take some work. You got to be uncomfortable. Yeah, I get that. But I'm speaking about when they push it in your head that you can't get it without like messing up some part of your life or struggling or losing or all that stuff. You don't have to do that, guys. Your subconscious is doing that to you because that's what you get every day. You have to know that you can deliberately turn your life off and on right now. You can decide right now that things will be easy and effortless for you. Opportunities will come to you. The universe is working in your favor. And your reality will exactly change to mimic that. It'll be so profound that you'll start to feel guilty of making whatever. You make more money in your sleep and you feel so guilty like, it's not natural. Why am I making this money without struggling? That's an aha moment. That should wake you up to show you how backwards your mind is. Your mind actually makes you feel guilty for being happy. Your mind makes you feel guilty for doing something that other people aren't supposed to do. You see how messed up that is, man? Think about that. You feel guilty for making more money and not working hard than people working hard. Where does that come from? It's a product of how the system is so messed up and so construes your mind. You should never feel guilty for having things that are moving you towards your desires. If you feel guilty, that's a limiting belief. I've actually met people and talked to people who feel guilty for making more money than their other counterparts. They feel like they have to stop because they see other people working hard and they're not. Yeah. They struggle with that. Mark, I just don't feel right. I'm making too much money and I'm not working as hard as that person. That's having an effect on me. That's because they had this old mindset that you have to work hard and see that. So when they start to break out of it, the mind still holds on to that stuff. Like, we live in an age where happiness is not a commodity. Like, if you're happy, something is wrong with you. Let me repeat that. We live in an age where if you're happy, something is wrong with you. You're weird. Let that sink in, man. We live in an age where if you're at peace and happiness, you're abnormal. But if you're struggling and you're stressed and everything, then you're in a normal routine. Yo, let that sink in. Think about that. There aren't no Murphy's Law. There's only Murphy's interpretation. Murphy's Law is whatever could go right for me will always go right. That's what's going to happen. Murphy's Law is whatever could go wrong for me will always go wrong. That's what will always happen. It's an interpretation. The Murphy's Law is a bunch of bullcrap too. They program in your head because, oh, Murphy's Law, whatever's wrong is going to wrong. Your subconscious accepts that. I just changed Murphy's Law to new Murphy Law. Whatever can go right will always go right for Mark. That's my Murphy's Law. Everything is an interpretation. But back to the abnormal thing. When people see you happy and at peace, they think something's off because you're not supposed to be that. You're supposed to be struggling like them. Or you're supposed to be, you're supposed to be in some stress, man. That's how bugged out the world and abnormal the world has gotten, man. Because everything you see doesn't show happiness. Everything you see doesn't, they always show like struggle and lack, man. See what I mean? I'm just showing you guys the real deal of how, like, I'm showing you the hidden stuff that you're not seeing, that you're oblivious to because you take it for granted every day. I'll repeat that again. Let me repeat it again because it's so true. I'm going to go because I'm going to call right now. But you live in a world that if you're happy, if you're at peace, if you're feeling good, something is wrong with you. Let that sink in. Gotta go, guys. I'll do another live again. Thanks.